Now, we've talked about some of the science and actually really what goes into this stuff. How do we build a sleep plan? Let's get practical here, because real life does not always cooperate with ideal sleep advice. A personalized plan has to work within your environment, within your world, within your circumstances, if you will. For parents and caregivers to the elderly, nighttime interruptions can often be unavoidable. In these cases, the goal isn't necessarily to get an increased quantity of sleep, but to make sure that the sleep you get is of the optimal quality. This means learning how to fall back asleep quickly, making sure you protect your sleep when you can, and avoid habits that make nighttime awakenings worse, like in the middle of the night checking the bright screens and or mentally engaging too much by doing homework or work or anything like that. If you sleep next to a partner who snores, moves in their sleep, or has a different schedule, the solution might not always be toughing it out. You can implement some simple tools like white noise machines, earplugs, separate blankets so no one's stealing the covers, or honestly, even separate bedtimes. These things can dramatically reduce the sleep disruption without hurting your relationship. So now for the people who wake up at nighttime due to stress or racing thoughts, the issue isn't discipline, it's nervous system regulation. The focus should be on calming the body quickly so that you can return back to sleep, not just lying there being all frustrated and watching the clock, waiting to wake up so you can get to work. When schedules are inconsistent, the most powerful anchor is your wake-up time, not your bedtime. Waking up at the same time daily does train your internal clock, even when you have a rough night's sleep. And finally, if you're sleeping a lot but you're still waking up tired, the priority should be sleep quality, not cutting out more hours in the day to sleep more. In order to increase your sleep quality, improving the amount of movement throughout the day, stress management, proper nutrition, all of these factors are going to help you get a good night's sleep, but these factors have to be done during the day. Anything that you do during the day is going to prep your body for a good night's sleep at night. A key takeaway here is this: good sleep plans don't require perfect conditions. They require smart adjustments that fit your life. All right, so I want to wrap up with something a bit practical. You don't need to overhaul your entire life to sleep better. In fact, trying to fix every problem at once could possibly backfire. Sleep improves fastest when you match the situation to the actual problem and fix it consistently. Repeat the fix over and over for several weeks or even months at a time in order to get the results. So listen for what sounds like you. If you struggle falling asleep at night, try reducing the stimulation the last hour or two before bed. Shut down screens earlier, and then follow a simple wind down routine, whether, again, it be reading, stretching, going for a walk, what have you. So your brain starts to program itself for nighttime over time. Repetition is going to be key here. If you wake up during the night and can't fall back asleep, keep the lights low. Try to avoid looking at the clock. Try to avoid looking at your phone, and use some slow, calming nasal breaths for a couple of minutes, in through your nose, out through your mouth, to try to calm the heart rate again and relax you back into sleep. If you're sleeping 7 to 9 hours but are still waking up exhausted, try improving the quality of your sleep rather than adding more time in bed. Focus on movement during the day, stress reduction, and minimizing disruptions the night before, assuming you need more sleep. If stress keeps your mind racing at night, try writing during the day. Try writing down your next day or even your next week's top priorities before bed. This is a trick that I use in my business. I write down all the things that are urgent that I absolutely have to do first thing the following day. All the things that are important that I have to do at some point in the next day or two. And then all the things that are non-essential, I just have to get to it at some point. That helps categorize all your lists and all your priorities so you know what you have to do, and then you're not stressing over it in the middle of the night. If you feel groggy every morning, try waking up at the same time every day and getting outside to get some natural light within the first hour. This is going to anchor your internal alarm clock and make your mornings easier over time. If kids or a partner disrupt your sleep, try minimizing the disruption as much as you can with white noise, again, separate blankets, possibly different bedtimes. Again, it's not going to be perfect, but it could help over time. If you rely on sleep aids every night, try focusing on habits that support natural sleep instead of increasing dependence on those sleep aids. Sleep aids might help get you to sleep, but they don't always provide that high quality restorative sleep in your N3 and REM stages. So be careful of that. And finally, if you've tried all these changes consistently for a couple of weeks and your sleep still hasn't improved, try tracking these patterns and looking deeper. Use something as simple as a pen and paper to write down the habits you've tried adopting, what your nighttime routine looks like, how frequently you're doing it properly, what the overnight sleep looks like, how frequently you wake up in the middle of the night, and what the morning routine looks like, how you feel first thing in the morning. From there, you can really dig deep and try to figure out what portions of your routine are working, what isn't working, and what possible other habits you need to adopt. The most important takeaway from this slide is this: don't do everything. Don't incorporate every single fix or recommend or tip that we have. Pick one strategy, build out one plan that fits your life and your situation, and do it consistently. This isn't going to be a one-night fix. It's going to take time. It can take a few weeks for your body to start to get used to the fact that this is the routine that takes us to sleep. This is the time we go to sleep, and this is the time we wake up. All right, that is the end of our presentation. Now we will take some questions. So I do see that we have a few questions. All right. What is your take on daily melatonin intake? Okay, so I'm assuming, yeah, taking that like melatonin supplements, pills, what have you. So personally, this is from a personal standpoint. I take it on an as-needed basis. There was a time years and years ago where I was taking it very regularly, pretty much every single night in order to get to sleep. And the reason it took that for me to do that was because I didn't know at the time my sleep area wasn't optimized. There were light leaks all over the place. I had a tower fan that emitted a blue light that kind of faintly lit up half the bedroom. And there was also just a lot of noise in the background that I didn't really do anything about. So getting to sleep was hard and I couldn't understand why. So I was taking melatonin pretty regularly, and almost every time that I took it, I would wake up groggy in the morning. All of that being said, it can be good for getting you to sleep, but like we said before, every person is different. Everyone's body is different. Some people, like how I was, might have issues getting to sleep without taking external melatonin if they do it too regularly. Okay, next one. What about night lights or blue light filters? So these I recommend to my clients. Are they magic fix-alls? No, but they do have some good effects. So for those who don't know, the night lights in this case, we're not talking about like hallway night lights, but the night lights or blue light filters are what's integrated into our technology these days. So in your computer screens, your phone, I think some TVs have them, you can apply a blue light filter, which dims the light, and you can program it so that at a certain point in the day, it's going to do that automatically. You really don't even notice it, honestly, after a day or two, honestly, maybe even less than that. You really don't even notice that it's on your screen. It doesn't really affect the quality of anything. You can still see everything fine. It doesn't affect the color scheme very much. But the reason it works is it does help to suppress the amount of bright lights coming at you. Now, I do want to make this clear. Even if you have your blue light filter on, if you wake up in the middle of the night and go to your phone, that's still a bright light coming at you. And so that is still going to slowly wake up your brain. And then on top of that, if you like jump on your email or start doom scrolling, what have you, then you're reading, then you're intaking information, then your brain's trying to process all that information, and it's not going to help get you back to sleep. So in a nutshell, they can be good for starting to program the brain to turn off for the night, but they're not good solutions for lack of a better term, nighttime boredom, when you just want to be doom scrolling or want to be watching TV while you're in bed. That's still going to keep the brain going. What about naps throughout the day? No issue with naps depending on the length of the nap. So if you have a good 2 or 3 hour nap during the day, that definitely might affect the sleep that you get at nighttime, because you just got a pretty good rest smack dab in the middle of the day. The brain might not be ready to turn off at nighttime. The muscles in the body might not feel like they need as much of a recovery. So if you're going to do naps throughout the day, keep them short. A quick 20 to 30-minute nap where you're only getting those first initial stages can make people wake up feeling refreshed. All right, I think that's all the questions we have. I want to thank everyone so much for attending. I hope you learned something. Definitely, if you have any questions or comments, definitely let us know. If you are having some issues with this and would like me or my team to dig into your situation a little bit more and see if we can help, definitely reach out. Go to bhftc.com, schedule an appointment with me for a free consultation, and we'll take a look and see if we can help. Thank you.